Okay, so a couple days later, uh, kind of figured out the ant movement logic, and I actually have first tower working. So, pretty much the way the ant works, after it's spawned, it kind of just inherits the path from its spawner and follows that. However, um, as soon as the a tower is placed, what we do is force all the spawn zones to remake their path, recheck it, and if it's the same path, then fantastic. But if it's different, then we have a new one. And then the enemy, pretty much, the enemy checks to see if the new path is wildly different than his current one. He goes through the whole thing and checks it, sees what it's like. And if it's very different, then what he does in his own code is um, where do I have it? Right here. He just finds a new one. There's a couple different areas where he recalculates it because we kind of just have to. Like I think here, yeah, we have to go spawner. Yeah, small changes. Anyway, he has to refind it, go through it again, and set it. Anyway, I will show you what it looks like for now. Okay, spawn in a couple of these. Show you the path. So obviously, spawners have some paths that work. Then, if those guys go, they just follow the path. Fantastic. Let me speed up the spawning rate. Anyway, they just go there. It's great. It's fantastic. They do the thing. Now, at any point, what's the keybind? They have their own paths. If I slow this down again, what you'll see is that they all keep track of their own path and their position on it. They don't just move blindly. They actually care what's going on. If I place this, then they recalculate their path and go back to it. And as you saw, this tower shoots. So, the ants have their logic, and now the turrets have logic. They work very similar to BTD. um, to show you, they just have a radius. Whenever there's enemies in their radius, they point to the enemy that is furthest along. So, what determines furthest along is essentially the difference between the ant's current grid position subtracted from the length of their path. So if this guy has, what is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, pretty much we would be 14 minus his current length on here. So if that's here, then it would be 1, 2, 3, 4. So that guy would be 4. Um, yeah, if we just run this again, where are two spawners? So if I put this guy like here and like ramp up the spawning rate, you'll see that he's just shooting everything here. That one's actually not very good to demonstrate. Let's put him like here. As you can see, there's ants all the way over here, but the closest one is like back here. This isn't the one he's shooting at the one that's farthest along. And as soon as she shoots, he like snaps over. That's because he purely just shoots at whatever is closest and instantly snaps to that one. Um, but yeah, he has a little shoot line. I couldn't be bothered to make a sprite at the moment, but it does the job. Could add one here. Now they both shoot. They kind of multitask a bit, and then eventually it gets, you know, they're just better. They just shoot faster than the ants can spawn. Anyway, if we add a bunch more spawners, then it gets a lot different, and we can kind of do this. There are some weird things with the ants. Sometimes when they recalculate a path, since they're always moving, sometimes they clip through towers. Um, I'm still trying to figure out the source of that. Like, you kind of see there, they kind of just slide. Or when I click and add a tower, you can kind of see them stutter a bit. But it's better than it was like yesterday. um, let's visualize the ant's path. Overall, I think it's coming together pretty well. Things that I can change, obviously, but I don't know. It's actually starting to look like tower defense, and that's what matters. If we want, we can just make it a constant stream of ants. There's no way they're stopping this. This actually might crash. Let's reduce that. Anyway, that's where we're at. It's going pretty good. And yeah, I think the next step is properly making the player be able to play stuff based off of value. Because right now, the ants, when they die, are giving money to the player. You just don't see it. Anyway, that's about it.